Residents in Fresno, California got a rare chance to help decide how millions in climate funds would shape their neighborhoods through the Transformative Climate Communities Program, or TCC. TCC, which is a program funded by the state of California, became a model for connecting policy with communities. And I've personally used it as a blueprint for designing at least 2 other programs in California. But what does it actually take to make a program like this succeed beyond what shows up in evaluation reports? In this video, you'll hear from Jessie Buendia, one of the leaders behind TCC, sharing her own reflections. This is Behind the Impact, short videos where leaders reflect on the secret sauce behind programs that make real change. What if I told you that one of California's most ambitious climate and equity programs started with just a few paragraphs of legislation? No blueprint, no thick playbook. Just a bold idea handed to leaders, communities, and evaluators to figure things out along the way. And the result? A program that not only cut greenhouse gases, but also tested new ways of building trust, measuring equity, and keeping communities at the center. I sat down with Jessie Buendia, one of the architects behind Transformative Climate Communities Program, or TCC. And when I asked her what made this program work, she smiled and started with a surprising confession.
I think what very few people know is that TCC guidance was like a few paragraphs legislatively. It was very, very slim. And we went through a really extensive public process to develop the first sets of guidelines associated with that program.
From the beginning, Jessie and her team leaned on a mix of community engagement and academic rigor. UCLA evaluators were brought in to help shape the program, and that mattered a lot. Because with TCC, success was not just about shaping dollars, it was also about tracking impact.
And then we, from the onset, established evaluators who would evaluate the success of our programs based on the indicators that we developed.
But impact also meant making tough political calls. One of the most controversial: who exactly should be eligible to receive funds?
I remember when we extended the target to top 24% RIDA. And we had a very, very high threshold for the most polluted communities. And pollution is only one indicator for disadvantaged communities. So for the most disadvantaged communities was where we started. And then we had to, for political solvency, broaden our criteria.
It was a balancing act, staying true to the equity while keeping the program viable in the real world of politics. So what made TCC more than just another government program? Jessie kept coming back to 3 things. Number 1, stakeholder engagement that shaped the guidelines, shaped designing the whole program from very early stages of program design. Number 2, interagency collaboration was hard, but it was working. There was a strong chair tied very closely to the governor's office that could wrangle the troops. Number 3, they had shared metrics: greenhouse gas reductions, equity measures, workforce and anti-displacement plans, all these different metrics that was shared among all these different agencies with different agendas. And of course, TCC wasn't perfect. Funding was inconsistent, collaboration depended heavily on political will, and measuring things like anti-displacement and workforce development much harder than it sounds.
I think anti-displacement is actually hard to measure, like that your anti-displacement policies are actually what's leading to anti-displacement or not.
And yet, something unexpected happened. TCC didn't just fund projects, it built capacity.
One of the things that our evaluators were able to bring out was community infrastructure, and not like hard infrastructure, but like the capacity building that was developed through a TCC grant helped to leverage other grant funding models.
In other words, the program left behind more than bike lanes or solar panels. It left behind stronger communities able to organize, apply for funding, and keep shaping their own futures. So what do we learn from Jessie's story? That sometimes the most transformative programs don't start with perfect rules or abundant budget. They start with a small framework, a willingness to listen, and a lot of trust. Because in the end, real climate resilience is not just about carbon. It's about giving communities the power to transform themselves. Huge thanks to Jessie Buendia, who is currently Chief Impact Officer at the Coalition for Green Capital. She's helping bring clean energy investments to communities that have been overlooked for too long. And her work shows what real impact looks like when equity, environment, and economy come together. That's exactly what we are about at the Triangle too. We design programs that actually deliver on what they are supposed to do. And we make sure you can track and measure that impact clearly. You can find links to Jessie's work and the Triangle in the show notes. This is Behind the Impact, and I'll see you in the next one.